Hello, to finish this class on software process models, I'm going very quickly talk about Agile methods and see the relation with, so basically to give you the perspective of software development from an Agile point of view. And so they are addressing the same problems, and from that perspective, that the code is the important thing, collaboration. So you have agile methods, and in the Agile manifesto, they have defined these principles, and basically is that individuals interactions over processes and tools, and we talk a little bit whether the development is more team-based on the knowledge of the team, or is more process-based. So the way you manage the team and put people working together. So and the same that working software over comprehensive documentation. So basically avoid all the intermediate transformations between the natural language and the software system, and customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This is an important point because basically it's the problem of changing the requirements. So if you won't be able to change the requirements during the business process, it's difficult if you have a contract, because basically then actually the contract is built on top of the requirements specification. And responding to change over following a plan. So it's to be agile in the sense that when things change, you basically keep replanning. And the main idea is that the plan is just what is there to allow to realize whether you are doing well. Is not something that is there just to or not well, you are doing according to your expectations. Is not just there to tell you what you need to do. Right, so if you realize that actually the plan, what is actually occurring, is not according to the plan, so you need to change the plan. Not saying that no, it's me that I need to change my behavior just to follow the plan. So it's that are the key points, and these have impact on the way you develop software. Okay, and you have already a little bit about it. Okay, when we talk about Scrum, for instance. Okay, then you have customer involvement. So this is basically to reduce again the gap between the different languages. So if the customer is in the team, so you don't need all the intermediate documentations that record what are the customer needs. So incremental delivery, in the sense that we have a short feedback cycle, so that you receive feedback from what you have by producing real things to be used by the client. And process, people not process. So the idea that basically you organize so the what is relevant, what makes difference when you develop software is the team. Okay, it's the knowledge of the team, is the way the team communicate, and we talk about this. Embrace change. So this idea that basically software is to be changed. Okay, if someone tells you, hey, these guys are developing this project and they keep changing the code, it means that the project is alive. So if they say no, the code doesn't need to change anymore, it means that basically nothing is occurring. Why? Because the existence of the system just creates new needs. Okay, so if it creates new needs, means that the system is doing something good, right? And if it doesn't create any new needs, basically the system basically is not doing nothing there. Okay, and then maintain simplicity. This idea that I kept repeating about avoid over-engineering, in the sense that on top of complexity, you just have more complexity. Okay, the world is already a lot complex. No, the world is not complex. We make it. You make it really complex, and then any complexity results on more complexity, because we work on top of something complex, and the result of that work needs to be complex, and then it's something that never finished. So try to go towards more the simple solutions. So this idea that do not over engineering, do not generalize if it is not needed. Okay. I have here, just to finish, a little bit about extreme programming, and is a perspective describing extreme programming from a perspective of risk analysis. So the point is that what are the principal reasons or the main reasons why a software project may fail? And for each one of them, I'm going to present extreme programming technique that actually addresses these risk. Okay, and it's an interesting way to see. So we talked a long time ago. What are the main reasons why a software project fails? Okay, so let's revisit and now say what are the answer that extreme programming provides to it. So our frequent risks are dealt by XP. So the first one is business changes. So the customer can. What is business changes is this idea that I think is one of the first risks why project fails, is that so basically the business change. You start a project is for 2 years, but when you finish the project, it's not solving nothing. It's not solving the problem because the problem changed. Okay, so the idea is that the customer can change requirements that are not yet implemented. We talk about it. So that's why you address this. Schedule slips. So small schedule slips means that just the project is scheduled for 1 year, but now it takes 1 year and a half, 2 years, 2 years and a half, 3 years. And how do you deal with this? And the idea is that, again, if you have short duration cycles and small versions, basically you have feedback. So you do not worry if you plan for 1 year, it's going to take 1 year and a half, because after 1 year you have already delivered value for the client. So if you have already delivered value, means that the client has something that has value for the businesses. So in some sense, the schedule is not going to slip. You keep changing things, and probably the project is going to take longer, but you are not just saying that it's not a 0-1 thing, right? It's a continuous. You continuously provide functionality. So another is the project is cancelled. So you start a project, you deliver nothing, and after a while there's a say, well, this is not relevant for us. And the idea is that if the customer chooses the small version that has the biggest impact, the project probably is not is more difficult to cancel the project, because we have already delivered the most important things. So if it is really the most valuable functionalities for the client point of view, probably it's not going to be cancelled. Okay, and if it is cancelled, you can say that, well, you provide a solution. Okay, so it's not really nothing. Okay, then another risk is the system goes sour, and this is the problem with as you keep changing the code, the system loses quality, and you get you finishing having higher costs to maintain. And here the solution is just to have tests, okay, and you keep you keep testing the code, and you do refactorings and so on. So the same for defect rate, so testing from different perspectives, the programmer, okay, the user. Then you have business understood. Okay, this problem about noise in the communication, so something that is in the mind of the client, and then the code, and the problem of validation. And here is the customer is part of the team, so basically everything is validation. There's no verification, there's no documents that basically you implement a system according to some documents. Now you implement a system according to the client that is close to you, that tells you, yes, that's what we need. False feature rich is a problem that you implement a lot of things, but it's not really useful. And again, is this idea that only the highest priority activities are performed, so you pick the things that have more value. Okay, so if you pick the things that are more value, although you may have a big set of functionalities to implement, the client picks the ones that have more value, so these ones that are not relevant and that would make the product a false feature-rich product will not be implemented. And the last one is staff turnover. And the reason because people leave a project because they do not like to be there, or okay, that's one reason. And so if you foster communication and programmers estimate their work duration, for instance, as we do in sprints, they do the same in XP, not just in Scrum. And so you put the responsibility on the developers, not just don't say to the developer, you need to implement this for tomorrow. It's the developer that just estimates their work duration, and that makes a more amenable working experience. So they do not leave just because they do not like to work in this context. On the other way, since it fosters communication, you don't have single point of failure from knowledge point of view. So if this guy knows everything, we talk about this idea of the hero, right? In a team, there's no heroes. So every member of the team is able to do everything. If someone decides to leave, it's just you can this can be coped by the other members of the team. Okay, and to finish, I want you to look at the rules of extreme programming. We'll find them here in this page and read them, and then we'll discuss about it in the last class. Okay, enjoy, and this is the last video.